So let me ask you a pretty brutal question. Why do you keep falling for the wrong people in your life? Why do you keep choosing the ones who don't choose you? Why do you keep trusting people who consistently and continuously let you down? Why do you keep chasing people with red flags literally in 4K? If it was just bad luck, then it wouldn't be happening every single time. Uh, so what's actually going on here? The answer is pretty deeper than I think you would expect, and I'll explain it to you. So, here's what nobody ever tells you. You don't fall for the wrong people by accident, but you fall for them because on some level you're familiar with the pain that they bring to you. I'll explain. Your mind doesn't choose what's healthy for you. It chooses what feels more so comfortable for you. Even if that comfort comes from chaos or inconsistency or even emotional games that people can play with you, you're not drawn to their personality, but you're drawn to the pattern that they lay out for you. The real reason you're attracted to them is, you're attracted to people who activate your wounds. Think about it like this. If you grew up craving attention, you'll fall for people who give you crumbs, If you grew up feeling invisible, you'll fall for the people who don't fully see you, because you're invisible, right? But if you grew up walking on eggshells, also, you'll fall for people who make you overthink. Your brain finds that familiarity, the familiar anxiety, and says, "Oh, we know this feeling. This is home. This is where we belong." Not realizing it's repeating the same trauma, in a different body with a different name, but with the same outcome. But the crazy part is healthy people feel boring to you. Someone who texts back consistently, I don't feel this spark. You rather would go for that person who, would delay their text. They look really good. They'll delay their text, because they're busy. They're focusing on their lives, obviously. Or maybe they're just not that into you. Someone who actually respects your boundaries, someone who wants you for the right reasons. But you'll just say it feels too easy, there's no excitement there. But you know why? Because your nervous system is addicted to the roller coaster, but not the person. You're used to the highs and lows that comes with it. You're used to the confusion of not knowing truly if they really are into you or if they're not. You're confused with the mixed signals. You're used to the overthinking, the chasing their approval, basically. But real love doesn't feel like adrenaline coming towards you. It feels like peace. But peace feels unfamiliar, so you just call it boring. This person's they just got it too light. You know what I mean? It's just not what your brain likes a challenge. So let me give you a story that can kind of elaborate further on this. So a girl told me once, she said every guy she dated was pretty emotionally available, cold one day but very interested in her the next, never fully choosing her but also never fully leaving her, always kind of having her there. But she thought it was just her type of guys that she was into. She thought she was just kind of into the a-holes, and whatnot, until she started dating a genuinely good guy, someone who texted back, someone who communicated with her, someone who didn't play games with her. And guess what happened? She couldn't feel a single thing. She tried, she forced it, but she just didn't feel that spark that was there with the other guys. So she left. And then a year later, after healing, she realized something, that it wasn't a lack of chemistry, but it was that it had carried a lack of trauma. That guy, you know, she said she didn't know how to function without the chaos in her life. She was so used to it. And that's when everything in her life changed. And you can see why. So why do you keep ignoring the red flags whenever they easily pop up? I'll give you a few reasons why you might be avoiding it. You mistake anxiety. You mistake anxiety for compatibility. You mistake inconsistency for mystery. You mistake emotional unavailability for depth. You mistake trauma bonds for soul ties. You mistake crumbs for effort, when they're not doing that much, but you see it kind of, what I mean? It feels like it. You mistake chaos for passion. You don't fall for the wrong people because you're stupid, but you fall for them because your heart is chasing something familiar to you. You're not choosing them, your wounds are simply choosing them. So how do you get out of this? How do you break this pattern? I'll explain. Number one, let's recognize your triggers. So ask, why does this type feel familiar? Why does this type of person feel familiar to me? Are they, what kind of vibe do they give off? Number two, stop confusing peace with boredom. Healthy relationships feel calm, but not chaotic. Number three, don't chase people who make you question your worth. If you have to earn love, it's not love. Love is fluorescently just in the air. Like it's not something that you earn. If a girl is not giving you the same type of energy that you're giving her off rip, or a guy, whatever you are into, it's just best to not feel like you have to earn that. It's not a job, like what are we talking about? Learn to sit with yourself. You really stop craving toxic love whenever you stop fearing being by yourself or being lonely. When you're able to sit with yourself and be calm and not have to have another extension of you just because you need it, then you can really start to find what you truly are meant to do and who can really truly add to your life, I feel. So with that being said, raise your standards from your wounds to your worth. Your worth says, I deserve clarity, effort, consistency, and loyalty. Not maybe, not sometimes, not whenever they're bored, but always and forever. So I'll leave you with this. Here's the truth. You're not unlucky in love, but you're unhealed. You're not attracted to bad people, but you're attracted to a familiar sense of pain. You're not being rejected, you're being redirected. Because once you heal once broke you, I'm sorry, because once you heal what once broke you, you won't feel like you need to chase chaos anymore. You'll stop falling for potential and you'll stop begging for effort. You'll stop tolerating mixed signals. You'll stop accepting confusion as chemistry. And for the first time, you'll see the difference between someone who raises your heart rate and someone who raises your standards. And that's beautiful. The wrong people will stop looking attractive and the right people will stop looking boring. And real love will finally feel possible to you because it starts with you. Because when you heal, your type changes and so does your future. All right. And thank you for listening. This TNL. Appreciate y'all.